तो लक्ष्य बोलो, एग्जाम कैसा था?
So it was good.
Able to answer, right?
Yes, sir. Like kind of.
Sneha,
So,
how was the exam?
मुझे थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट लगा.
Hmm?
It was okay,
Can't,
sir.
it's okay.
Hello. It's
It's
fine.
okay.
Yes.
Okay. Sagar Suman,
यस सर.
एग्जाम कैसा
डिफिकल्ट
था?
था.
It was difficult.
थोड़ा सा लगा.
So would you be able to answer?
यस सर, आई ट्राइड.
You tried. Where it was difficult?
सर, मींस आई वाज अनेबल टू फिनिश इट प्रॉपर्ली.
And why it happened?
सर आई विल हैव टू चेक इट अगेन.
The first question ठीक ठाक हुआ था?
यस सर.
वो adjustment ठीक ठाक किए थे? That is how to divide everything by 80 to the power 1 over 1 minus alpha and nt. वो ठीक ठाक
यस.
हुआ था?
यस.
Okay, okay. Then it's fine. Then I think that was the only trick the first question had. If you understood that, then rest of the part was absolutely simple. So there was a wages, income from wages, there is a income from capital, and I said some fraction of wages is saved and some fraction of capital income is saved, SW and SR. And that's basically your investment, and you got your fundamental equation. बाकी तो ठीक ठाक ही था. एंड सेकेंड पार्ट जो है वो तो आई थिंक सेकेंड क्वेश्चन वाज मच मोर इजियर, राइट सागर?
सर फर्स्ट का शायद कुछ पार्ट्स में प्रॉब्लम आ रहा था. आई डोंट रिमेम्बर एग्जैक्टली. देखना पड़ेगा मुझे.
एंड सेकेंड क्वेश्चन
वो इजी था.
वो इजी था, हुआ है पूरा?
यस.
So you able to calculate this optimal SR equals to 1/2.
Hmm.
Okay, very good. Sachi Jalote,
Yes, sir.
how was the exam?
Sir, it was okay, sir.
क्यों ओके क्यों?
Sir, मतलब specifically for me it was थोड़ा lengthy, मतलब so I tried to finish it. Maybe I took time
Have
and
you
went
done?
in.
I think the second question is easier, right? Second,
Uh, sir, I don't remember completely, but yeah.
second question. I think I told you guys to calculate the per capita income in the in Romer model, and
Yes,
then I
sir.
said that you calculate the optimum fraction of people in research and development.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was something like that. Yes, sir.
I think that I, it was nothing tricky over there. But in the first question, the only trick was that you have to understand that you have to divide everything with respect to 80 to the power 1 over 1 minus alpha and nt. Instead of dividing everything by 80 nt, you have to divide everything by 80 to the power 1 over 1 minus alpha nt. यही ट्रिक था. और ये हम लोग डिस्कस भी किए थे that when your technological progress is both capital augmenting and labor augmenting, then the adjustment factor is 80 to the power 1 over 1 minus alpha nt. But if it is only labor augmenting, it is simply 80 nt. याद है?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We
That was,
discussed this
yeah,
in
that was
class.
the only trick I have given. अच्छा दशरथ बोलो, दशरथ मीना. Are you here? I don't
Yes, sir.
think you're here. Okay.
Yes, sir.
How was the exam?
It's fine.
Fine. ठीक ठाक हुआ है.
हाँ सर ठीक ठाक ही था.
अच्छा. That's very good. Very good. पालकित बोलो. पालकित लोहिया.
सर थोड़ा लेंदी लगा.
लेंदी छोड़ो. You do able to understand what you are doing and everything. ये सब ठीक ठाक था.
हाँ सर, वेस्को सेंस में it was good, but second question, I guess second question was a bit tricky, but apart from that things were good.
Second question, that is the Roman model question.
Yes sir.
ये tricky लगा. अच्छा.
Sir, I mean, the classes where Roman model was explained, I had internet issues, so I wasn't able to understand things pretty well. So
And that is why मैं तुम देखो वो derivation से question मैं नहीं दिया हूँ. So I knew that it was very new actually. Last class में हुआ है. So मैं just simple पहले 2 क्लास में जो रोमन बोला था वहां से ही दिया था.
हाँ सर, so थोड़ा जितना समझ में आया मुझे उसके अकॉर्डिंग मैं कर दिया, बट ऐसा ज़्यादा नहीं कर पाया.
Okay. First question?
हाँ, first question was good.
First question ठीक ठाक था.
हाँ.
अच्छा. Lavin Titare? Lavin? Lavin, are you here? अच्छा, रोहित बोलो. रोहित आनंद. Not here. Rohit Anand, are you not here? My goodness. Inakshi Kaur.
Yes, sir. I just joined the meeting.
How was the exam?
It was okay.
कहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम था?
I'll have to check the exact solutions to know when the
But
where I made mistakes.
solution to discussion हो गया है, right?
So would it be possible to send the document as well? Because since it's mathematical, it would be easier to go through it if we had the document instead of.
No, I'm not going to send it because
Okay.
these some questions we use this kind of questions to for other batches also. Maybe I'll change the second question for
Okay.
other batches. Maybe I'll change the first question for other batches. Internal questions generally मैं ऐसे ही करते रहता हूँ. So I discuss and do not give it. Faisal?
Yes sir.
How was the exam?
एग्जाम अच्छा था, थोड़ा कंफ्यूज हो गया मैं तो, बट क्वेश्चन तो नहीं.
कौन से क्वेश्चन में कंफ्यूज हुए? फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन या सेकंड क्वेश्चन?
मैं थोड़ा दोनों में ही कंफ्यूज हो गया, बट आई डिड इट, देन थोड़ा टाइम निकल गया था तब तक. आई couldn't complete I guess all the parts of both questions. सेकंड क्वेश्चन में एक पार्ट रह गया.
अच्छा. तो ठीक है. So let's see till now where we are. उसके बाद next class से last part of the lecture, last topic, I will start lecturing from 25th. Not 25th and 26th. उसके बाद 25th and 26th दो special lecture होगा on nighttime light and economic development. Very recent topic. People are doing it because at the subnational level, let's say below district level, even actually district level onwards, GDP data is not available, and people used to take nighttime light as a proxy of GDP. So gross domestic product national level में मिलता है consistently, state level में मिलता है consistently. But if you want to analyze the development and growth of districts, you won't get GDP data consistently. Last district level GDP data available last time for India in 2008. Uske baad, we do not have any district level data, and that was very sporadic also. Before 2008, maybe it is something around 1997 district level data was available. Then in 2008 it was available. So it's very sporadically district level GDP data is available. But if you go below district level, let's say block level, town level, city level, constituency level, assembly, local assembly level, you won't get data of gross domestic product or GDP data. Now GDP is the measure we use as measuring economic development and growth. And when this GDP data is not available, what should we take? This is something people started thinking. If you want to analyze this absolutely micro level, constituency level, city level, or district level development, how should I do it? Because entire this growth model, this growth analysis, it depends on GDP. But at the sub-district level, GDP is not available, sub-national level. So people use this nighttime light given by NASA website as a proxy of GDP. So that nighttime light is available at a district level, village level, town level. It is available. And what they actually presume that higher nighttime light is higher economic activity. So the part of the country which is more enlightened, it is assumed to have relatively better economic activity. And economic activity means development. So they take nighttime light as a measure of economic development. And this is a very new topic. People have been working with it. What should I say, for last 1 decade or so, and that is not even 1 decade, less than 1 decade or so. So there'll be 2 special lecture on this nighttime light and how it is actually processed from NASA website, how it is used and why it can be used as a measure of economic development at the subnational level. So this will be the topic actually. So 25th and 26th will be this new topic discussion. And the last topic I will discuss is basically this, from where this population growth is coming from. So till now, the question that we have posed and we have achieved is this. So first question was, there was a considerable difference in income level across countries. Why? So the first question that we have asked in this course, considerable difference in income level across countries. Question was why? तुम लोग बोलोगे, मैं लिखूंगा. I will ask the answer. Whom should I ask? Let's say, can I ask Odrija Odhikari? Odrija?
Yes, sir.
Would you mind answering this question, that why there's a considerable difference in income level across countries, what we have learned till now?
Sir, it is because of the different levels of technology.
Anything else? नहीं, different level of technology नहीं, और कुछ, और भी कुछ. GDP, income level means GDP, or you can actually say that, let's say the steady state GDP or long run GDP. there is a considerable difference between the income level across countries. Mean I'm saying there is a considerable difference between the steady state income level across countries. The question is why? What we have learned? Why there is a considerable difference? What are the factors?
So the population growth and also the savings rate.
And
Savings rate, sir.
okay, and so you are saying that there is a difference among savings rate of growth of population,
Sir, also delta capital depreciation.
depreciation of capital stock, or कौन से मॉडल से तुम बोल रहे हो? Which model you are using to answer this?
Solo.
Solo. बोलो और कुछ?
Technology rate, growth of
Rate of growth of technology. And level of technology. A. So YSS जब हम लोग कैलकुलेट करते थे with the technological progress, these are the factors we have in YSS, steady state per capita income level. It depends positively on savings rate, positively on level of technology, AT, and it depends negatively on rate of growth of population, depreciation of capital stock, and rate of growth of technology. Difference between, there's a considerable difference among these factors across the countries, and as a result, there's a difference across the countries in income level. This is what Solo says. Second question was considerable difference in long run growth. Sachi bolo, Sachi Jalote. Why? Growth means growth in per capita income.
So because of difference in technology.
Technology or anything else? Technology nahi. Long run per capita income growth depends on what? What is the prediction of the Solo model?
Small n and small g. So
Small n and no, not small. I'm saying per capita. Consider per capita growth.
Yes, sir.
Difference in long run, let's say per capita growth. मैं लिखता हूँ, okay.
Oh,
Per capita
growth. So g, small g.
So difference in technological, difference in rate of growth of technology. अगर मैं पर कैपिटा को हटा दूं,
So to both n and g.
Rate of growth of technology and rate of growth of population, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Solo answers that. Fine. So these are the two major questions. Income level are different across the countries. Solo has given the answer. What are the factors from the model? Considerable difference in the per capita growth rate. And this is also the first point of the Kaldor fact, that per capita income is growing and it is not actually going down. It's consistently growing. Okay. And Solo identified it is the rate of growth of technology that matters. Fine. Then conditional convergence. This is also another prediction of the Solow model. कौन बोलेगा? Let's say Sagar Kumar Karn.
Yes, sir.
Conditional convergence. Another one. What is that?
Sir, I don't remember.
हाँ? फिर से बोलो.
Sir, I don't remember exactly.
तुम पढ़ाई लिखाई करते नहीं हो?
मैं करता हूँ, अभी याद नहीं आ रहा है.
लक्ष्य कविया बोलो.
Yes, sir.
Conditional convergence. What is that?
स्कूल में आएंगे आए हो करो में खाना
Conditional convergence. What is that? सोलो मॉडल में ही हम लोग पढ़े थे. Absolute convergence, conditional convergence.
Yes, sir.
What is this?
The rate of growth of rich countries will be less than that of poor countries.
That is conditional convergence. Where is the condition here? Is it true for all the countries? If you
No,
take
sir.
all the countries in the world together, do you get this answer? Do you get this result that the rate of growth of poor countries are higher than the rate of growth of rich countries? If you take all the countries in the world, तुम्हें ये result मिलेगा?
Yes, but sir, yes, sir, we will get, but only if they converge to same steady state.
तो conditional convergence, ये जो result तुम बोल रहे हो, rate of growth of poor countries is higher than rate of growth of rich countries.
Yes,
My
sir.
question is, if you take all the countries in the world together, are you going to get this result that the rate of growth
No.
of poor countries? तो वहां पे ही तो कंडीशन है. एक कंडीशन तुम्हें तो इम्पोज करना पड़ेगा. क्या कंडीशन था? What you have said is basically absolute convergence, that you take all the countries together. If you get that rate of growth of poor countries is higher than rate of growth of rich countries, taking all the countries in the world together, that is absolute convergence. But Solow model, if you can remember, does not support absolute convergence.
Yes.
So Solow model supports conditional convergence. What was that? I didn't expect. The way I have proceeded this lecture, the time I have given to explain Solow model and everything, and the notes are also available with you. Books are also available with you people. At least I expect that these basic facts should be very clear.
All the until which we will be comparing for this convergence, they should be in same savings rate range. Means neither they should be too much poor or nor they should be too much rich.
I know, but what is the technical term we use?
Homogeneous country.
Homogeneous set of countries.
Homogeneous set of countries.
For homogeneous set of countries, Solow model, homogeneous set of countries means what? Countries who share identical steady state. Right?
Yes, sir.
That means in the bracket, countries having identical steady state. Which countries are having identical steady state? Steady state depends on what? Steady state depends on this factor. That means countries having identical savings rate, rate of growth of population, rate of depreciation of capital stock, rate of growth of technology, and level of technology. This is basically homogeneous group of countries in the Solow model. Homogeneous group of countries means countries having identical steady state. Countries will have identical steady state. For those countries have identical steady states who have identical savings rate of growth of population, depreciation of capital stock, rate of growth of technology, and level of technology. For homogeneous set of countries, rate of growth of poor countries, actually when I say the rate of growth is basically the long run rate of growth, is higher than that of rich countries. ठीक है?
Yes,
अच्छा,
sir.
जब मैं लॉन्ग रन रेट ऑफ ग्रोथ बोल रहा हूं, मैं किसका रेट ऑफ ग्रोथ बोल रहा हूं? रेट ऑफ ग्रोथ किसका? कैपिटल, कंजम्पशन, सेविंग्स, किसका बोल रहा हूं? When I mention in the any kind of growth analysis or growth model, long run rate of growth, मैं किसका rate of growth बोलता हूं?
Capital.
कैपिटल. सोच के बोलो.
Sir. Income.
Income
National income level
means
production rate.
per capita GDP. Rate of growth means rate of growth of, मैं यहाँ पे लिख के देता हूँ, per capita GDP of poor countries. Rate of growth मतलब ही per capita GDP बोलता है in growth models. Whenever say it's a rate of growth, you have to assume we are talking about per capita GDP, not GDP. Per capita GDP के बारे में ही बोल रहा हूँ. So these three questions has been answered by the Solow model. और ये questions हम लोग, और yeah, and this part, this is also the first fact of the, this is the first point of the Caldor fact, that per capita GDP is growing consistently and it is not actually declining. And Solow says that this rate of growth of technology is basically the determinant factor of long run rate of growth. Okay. Other facts, Caldor facts was there. That means share of capital and share of labor is constant long run. ये भी हम लोग सोलो मॉडल से कैलकुलेट किए हैं. When you have actually analyzed the Solow model with the Cobb-Douglas kind of production function, k to the power alpha, n to the power 1 minus alpha. Alpha is basically a constant, that is the share of capital in national income. 1 minus alpha is share of labor in the national income, and it is constant by construction. So all the Caldor facts and everything was satisfied. This is basically main question we have asked, why there is a considerable difference in income level. Solow has given the answer. Why there is a considerable difference in the long run per capita growth rate of GDP. Solow has given the answer. Additionally, Solow has said that there is a conditional convergence. That means if you take the homogeneous set of countries, the poor countries grows at a higher rate compared to the rich countries. Actually, this is rate of growth, not long run. This is a short run rate of growth. Conditional convergence, and share of capital and share of labor is constant in the long run. When we analyze our model with Cobb-Douglas production function, it is by construction, it is constant. So the question that we have started with, Solow has given answer for most of the questions. Okay. So is there any Kaldor fact left? Let's see. Per capita income grows over time and it does not decline. Physical capital also grows over time, and we know that capital in the balanced growth path or in the long run, income and capital they grow in the identical rate. So that is also satisfied. When the per capita income is growing at the rate of technological progress, that means per capita capital stock is also growing at the rate of technological progress. Share of capital and share of labor in the national income is constant, fine, and growth rate of per capita output differs substantially across countries. We have answered this question. So all the question we have started with at the beginning of the lecture, we have started with some 3 or 4 questions. Solo actually answered all the questions. Solo has provided the answer to all the questions. After Solo, when the Romer comes into picture, when they realize this is very important, that in the long run, the rate of growth of technology matters. Then people started asking question, from where the rate of growth of technology is coming. कहाँ से आ रहा है? And what's the answer? कौन बोलेगा? Now सागर कुमार कर्ण ये बोल पाओगे? सागर कुमार कर्ण?
Yes.
From where this technology growth is coming from? Solo assume it is exogenous.
The growth in human capital.
Growth of human capital. कौन सा मॉडल से ये क्वेश्चन ये वाला क्वेश्चन जो है, who raised this question and provided the answer?
Sir, it came from the endogenous model.
The 2%, what Romer
and Jones.
Romer and Jones. तो वहां से क्या मिला? Rate of growth of technology G depends on what?
Rate of growth of population.
Rate of growth of population. So यहाँ से जो मिला, according to Romer, the Romer जो बोला था, it is not rate of growth. According to Romer model, he said it is the number of people working in R&D, research and development. This is Romer. Jones, I forgot, I think something around 2000, 2002, I think. It is rate of growth of population. This is the prediction. The rate of growth of population is giving me the rate of growth of technological progress. Population matter. So more population means there is the opportunity of more people coming in research and development and more innovation in the long run. And it is supported by the data. We have seen, if you can remember, that over the time in the past period, before actually it's something like 13th century, 14th century, rate of growth of per capita GDP was lower and the rate of growth of population was also lower. Then after industrial revolution, rate of growth of population started increasing, rate of growth of technology also started increasing. So it's supported by the data, this Jones over here. Okay. So this is basically what we have tried to achieve. Initial questions. Solo provided the answer. When people realize that this second fact is so important, that is long run growth of an economy depends on the rate of growth of technology, and Solo assume it is exogenous, people started asking where it is coming from. Then Romer says it is coming from the number of people working in research and development. Because if you can remember, in the Romer, this is basically the functional form that Romer has taken. Let me recall. Yeah. This is the functional form Romer has taken, that A dot over A. Let me copy and paste. I think I have already. So instead of typing it again, I have Romer specification and everything. So let me go over here. This was Romer. It is G means A dot over A, and that is theta LA. This is what Romer assume, and Romer what it basically says that if you increase number of people, that a proportional increase in rate of growth of technology. And Jones said it is not true, because over the time data says that huge people are actually working in research and development USA, but the innovation is not actually increasing at the same rate. So what Jones did, according to Jones' model, this is what Jones has taken. This is Jones. This is Jones. So if I simplify this, I get G equals to Y dot over Y, that is per capita income growth, equals to lambda n where is the lambda? Lambda n, rate of growth of population, 1 minus phi. And he has also shown with the data that phi should be a fraction. Phi cannot be equals to 1. Actually, when phi becomes equals to 1, it becomes the Romer model. And he says that phi cannot be equals to 1. And he also said, shown with the data, that phi cannot be more than 1. Phi is a fraction. So ultimately, rate of growth of per capita income depends on the rate of growth of population over here, n. And now people are asking that the next topic that I will actually start from where rate of growth of population coming from. This is the question people started asking, and why this question was extremely important, because people have realized that over the time, especially for the rich countries, let's say Japan, UK, US, the fertility rate has declined considerably. So if you really discard the migration to those countries, the rate of growth of population is basically negative for the rich countries, because their fertility rate has declined considerably. So then people started realizing, okay, if n is so important for the rate of growth of technology, and if n becoming negative, what are the prediction of the growth model? This is basically the new area where people are exploring after realizing the data says my n is negative for the rich countries. Okay, and that is why people started asking this question, from where the population growth is coming from. That is, what are the determinants of population growth? Why the fertility rate is actually declining? Because less fertility means less n, means less technological progress, means less growth, and that is very highly concerning for those people. So this is basically what we have achieved from this course till now. Basic 4 question, Solo has given the answer. After realizing the rate of growth of technology is so important for long run growth, Romer has asked the question, But it is coming from, as Romer said, it's coming from the number of people working in R&D. The Jones, from the data, he says that it is not the number of people. It cannot be number of people, because number of people is actually exponentially rising in research and development. But the new innovation are not rising exponentially. There's something else. And he has actually said this is N, rate of growth of population. And from the data, he shows that, okay, it is actually working. When the population growth and the rate of growth of technology, there is a huge correlation. Having seen that, and then realizing that for the rich countries, the population growth is negative, their fertility is lower, people started asking that what are the determinants of population growth? So can I take appropriate policies so that a constant population growth can be maintained? If a constant population growth can be maintained, a constant rate of growth in GDP per capita can also be maintained. Okay, so for that I need to know what are the determinants of population growth, and that is basically the last topic. I'll pick it up and I'll try to give some answers. So this is basically my course. I have started with some question, and this is what we have achieved till now. Okay. Any question, any clarification? The Shivam Kumar, are you here? Shivam Kumar. Shivam Naik. Shivam Naik, are you here? It's pretty weird. Shivam Kumar is not here. Shivam Naik is not here. Rohit Anand, are you here? Siddharth Ranjan Bajpai.
Yes, sir.
अच्छा, एग्जाम कैसा गया तुम्हारा सिद्धार्थ? How was the exam?
It was good. The first question was a bit tough, but okay.
So you able to answer ultimately?
Sir, I think so.
नहीं, solution to discussion हुआ है?
Yes, sir. But actually, I was not present that day.
Not present that day. Okay. And any questions or clarification regarding what we have achieved till now in this course? We have started with certain agenda, certain questions, and we have proceeded this lecture giving answer to those questions one by one. Any questions, that any clarification, any concern?
No, sir, not now from my end.
Okay. Vedika Gupta.
Yes, sir.
How was the exam?
So the first question was a bit tricky for me, but second was easily solvable.
Second was easy. So ultimately, did you able to solve the first question?
Sir, I tried, but I haven't checked the answers yet.
So तुम उसमें you missed the last lecture also?
Sir, I was out during that day. Yeah.
Out मतलब?
Like I went on a vacation.
You went on a vacation. But वो तो एग्जाम का वीक था ना वेदिका?
No,
According to
sir.
the timetable of IIT, that was exam week, right?
So the test window was from 4th to 8th, right?
हाँ, और हम लोगों का टेस्ट कब था? 5 तारीख को था, right?
Yeah.
And we have discussed everything on 11th, right?
Yeah.
Oh, अच्छा, 11th में तुम टेस्ट वीक के बाद चले गए थे.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. Gajala Rushi Rian. Are we here?
Yes, sir.
Gaja. How was
Yes,
your
sir.
exam?
It's okay, sir.
So you were able to solve?
Sir?
Did you? Bolo.
First question, second question, okay, sir. But first question, it takes too much time. It's a lot lengthy.
It was lengthy.
Yes.
So
I was
lengthy,
unable to solve all options.
You are unable to solve all the options. Okay.
Yes,
जितना
sir.
तक solve किए हो सब ठीक ठाक है?
Yes, okay, sir.
Okay, okay, very good. And any questions or concern about the course? We have started with certain agenda, certain questions, and we have proceeded by giving answers to those questions one by one. Anything that comes to your mind? Any clarification? Any doubt? Anything?
Not right. No, sir. Not right now.
अच्छा साची जलोटे बोलो. Is there anything you have about this course, Sachi? Because we have started with certain questions. Absolutely. We have, our agenda was completely clear. I want to answer these 3 or 4 questions that is coming from the data. And we have gradually started giving answer to those questions, right?
Yes, sir.
So till now, क्या क्या हम लोगों ने अचीव किए हैं आज मैं we have discussed in a nutshell today. Anything else, if you have anything in your mind?
No, sir.
Okay. Now let's see who else. वैसे ही आज attendance कम है, right? How many people are here? Can anybody tell me how many people are here?
25, I guess, except for you.
I predicted that, and that is why I have decided not to start a new lecture today, just only discussion about what we have achieved and what was your exam and everything. Acha, us din there's a guy who said that we couldn't predict the recession, all the recession. Who was that? Are you present here? I don't think he's present here, right? Because he said he has this logo, that Open IIT. Who's that guy? Can you tell me?
Yes, sir.
हाँ अभिदीप खा. अच्छा अभिदीप, और एक चीज उस दिन मैं थोड़ा सा आंसर तुम्हारा दिया था और थोड़ा सा आंसर देना बाकी था. Actually, this kind of predictions, they say you go to astronomy. A lot of stars are taking birth in different kind of galaxies and different kind of Milky Way. Lot of meteors are also taking birth in different kind of galaxies and different kind of Milky Ways. Do you think all the birth of the stars and the meteors and etc. it is predicted by the astronomers, or it was those which are important for our Earth?
Yes, sir. Whatever they can observe.
What we can observe, which is important for our Earth. Here also the same thing. only the important recession and depressions are getting predicted. Because what was the major difficulty you see this, Avideep, what we are actually looking for, still economists are looking for, what are the leading indicators of recession? Recession जो आ रहा है, which are the variables is going to give me the signal? Still not quite clear to us, because at least as I say, there are 3 or 4 major recession hits in the world economy till now. But the problem is different kind of variable has different kind of movement in those recession. It is not like the, let's say, people are actually saying that, okay, when the recession are coming, let's say 6 months before the recession, you sort of unemployment claim or unemployment benefit claim of USA rises. Okay, that happened in 2007, 2008 recession, but that didn't happen in 1990 recession. So this is exactly what we are actually stuck as an economist, that what are the leading predictor of recession? If we can identify 1 or 2 leading predictor, usko movement देख के हम लोगों को पता चलेगा recession आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है. This is where even people are working with, that what are the leading predictor? When there is a major recession, okay, unemployment benefit, movement of unemployment, and actually, if you see the Mankiw book, in the very first chapter or second chapter in the Mankiw book, he has given the comparison between this 1930 recession and 2007-2008 recession, a different movement of different variables. यहाँ पे problem है, and this is where people are also working. Leading predictor कौन है? What the leading predictor? कौन से variable में देख के मुझे पता चलेगा? Just like blood sugar को देख, level of blood sugar को देख के मुझे पता चलता है this is the condition of blood. Blood pressure को देख के पता चलता है this is the condition of heart or something. But we still didn't find a unique leading or 1 or 2 major leading indicator of recession. काम चल रहा है उसमें. Because the problem is, it is not a pure science. In the pure science, let's say the principles of iron, it is in UK, you go to UK, you go to India, you go to France, the principles of iron remain unchanged. But if you take a policy, let's say, person in USA, person in UK, person in India, they'll actually react in a different way, but same identical policy. Let's say that the policy now people are taking after the recession over here, that direct transfer of fund to bank account. This direct transfer of fund to bank account was available to rich countries well before, and only in those countries, since their honesty is pretty high compared to us, only the person who are eligible, they actually apply for that. But India, what is happening, people are not eligible, they're also applying for this kind of fund. So the reaction of the people are completely different. So there is no identical policy. जो policy USA के लिए काम करेगा, वही policy India के लिए नहीं काम करेगा, because people are involved and people are reacting differently. Social science का और pure science का यही difference है. This is basically the challenge. In the pure science, you identify a law or something, it will be applicable everywhere because nothing is going to change. But there is no unique law or unique policy in social science because people react differently of different countries. इसीलिए problem है. समझ में आ रहा है अविदीप? So social science is, हाँ बोलो.
ग्लोबलाइजेशन के कारण थोड़ा और कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हो गया है, मतलब सब आपस में इंटरैक्ट करते हैं तो और मुश्किल हो गया है.
And actually the thing is, who are really interested in social science, we are like we left pure science after class 12, after completing my class 12 with physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology, standard combination. We have attracted to this social science because this challenge we have started actually enjoying, that how people will believe, how people will react. There is no unique law, no unique policy. How should I analyze the reaction of the people? जो भी सोशल साइंस परस्यू किया है वो उसको यही अट्रैक्ट किया है in at the first place. In the science, everything is defined. You take a law, it is defined. It will be applicable everywhere. You go to social science, no unique law. And this is basically what we felt attractive to. And any social scientist. So that is why वो लीडिंग इंडिकेटर हम लोग ढूंढ रहे हैं. देखते हैं how much we can proceed. A lot of things are actually going on. Lot of research are actually going on. That what are the leading indicators of recession. अभी उतना रिसेशन हुआ नहीं है. मे बी और 2-3-4 रिसेशन के बाद पता चल सकता है. The major 2 recession we have found 2007, 2008, 1930. Great Depression and Great Recession, people are saying. Let's see how much we can go. Right, Ovidip? Ovidip?
Yes.
So, if you want to pursue, let's say, social science, ये चीज जब तक तुम एंजॉय नहीं करोगे नहीं होगा. Anyway, हर्ष मकवाना.
सर ये थोड़ा सा
बोलो.
थ्योरेटिकल मतलब पढ़ाने के स्टाइल में सर थोड़ा सा थ्योरेटिकल रहता है पूरा. तो मतलब ये कोर्स तो फिर भी आप थोड़ा वो स्टार्टिंग आपने उससे की थी डेटा से, लेकिन बाकी जनरली थ्योरेटिकली रहता है पूरा.
Actually, the thing is, Obidip, if you go to basic microeconomics, जो कोर्स है वहां पे डेटा का उतना जगह नहीं है. In microeconomics, we generally learn how to analyze models. Data आता है, एकदम नहीं आता है मैं नहीं बोलूंगा, because if you open the book of, let's say, Varian, हॉल वेरियन का जो माइक्रोइकोनॉमिक्स का बेसिक बुक है, तुम देखो एक चैप्टर वो गया है बजट कंस्ट्रेंट, एंड ही हैज गिवन द एग्जांपल ऑफ, लेट्स से, रैशनिंग, वैसे करके ऐसे गया है. इन माइक्रो there is a very few option to real life data, and especially you go to general equilibrium analysis, let's say whether equilibrium exists or not, वहाँ पे data का कोई जगह ही नहीं है. But in macro or in growth, there are a lot of places, especially development economics, data का बहुत जगह है. There are a lot of places where you can actually you do with the data, and this is exactly how macro and development are taught abroad. They actually first show the data, and then they started developing a model, and they test whether the model matches the data or not. ऐसे करके macro और development ऐसे करके जाता है. But if you go to mathematical economics, if you go to microeconomics, वैसे ही the structure of the course is such that it is very much theoretical. डेटा का जगह बहुत कम है. But without knowing those kind of concepts, those kind of technique, तुम बाकी का इकोनॉमिक्स कर भी नहीं पाओगे. Let's say if you do not know how to set up a proper Lagrangian, तो तुम कैसे बाकी एनालाइज करोगे? समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
This is the demand of the course. Some courses, the demand is the data should go hand in hand with the theory. The other courses, no, तुम्हें theory में ही concentrate करना पड़ेगा, because there you are actually learning the techniques. Let's say statistics, you have to understand not only data, you also have to understand certain properties of estimator. Let's say unbiased estimator, consistent estimator, ये तुम्हें जानना पड़ेगा. वहां पे डेटा का जगह नहीं है. Those are completely theoretical, right? But you have to keep your patience.
Yes.
You have to learn. हाँ, और कुछ बोल रहा था मैं, किसको पूछा था?
Sir, but when there is data, things become more factual. So मतलब it's easy to relate.
हाँ, absolutely. But सब जगह में तुम्हें डेटा नहीं मिलेगा. People are actually now, as I said, that let's say तुम लोग पढ़े नहीं हो, and ये जो equilibrium, general equilibrium analysis हम लोगों ने किया है, थोड़ा सा तुम्हें बोला हूँ. People are actually, there are some group of people, there are high level mathematician actually, they actually started working in economics. They started analyzing that whether the equilibrium of all the market, if you take all the market taking together, whether the unique equilibrium exists or not. If there's a if equilibrium exists, what are the conditions? Some people are actually going in that direction. They actually do not like data at all. They actually give us the technique to analyze. You use that. They say in macro, it is macro, you go to ISLM, you go to this kind of modeling. It's a general equilibrium modeling. Okay, labor market भी है, capital market भी है, goods market भी है, सब taking together. कोई ना कोई हम लोगों को दिया था that if you work with a concave production function, if you work with a concave utility function, then the unique equilibrium exists. माइक्रो इकोनॉमिस्ट और मैथमेटिकल इकोनॉमिस्ट हम लोगों को वो रिजल्ट दिया है. देन हम लोगों ने वहां पे ही कॉन्सेंट्रेट किए हैं. लेट अस ओनली वर्क विथ कॉनकेव यूटिलिटी फंक्शन and concave production function and see whether it is matching the data or not. Okay, so these mathematical economists and microeconomists, they actually work with lot of different kind of production function and utility function, and working with that they realize that if I take this concave utility function and concave production function, the unique general equilibrium exists in the economy. Fine. What is our job? Our job is not to search for different kind of production function or utility function. Our job is take a concave utility function, take a concave production function, analyze the general equilibrium and check whether it is matching with the data or not. समझ में आ रहा है साची?
Yes, sir.
Both are important. अगर मैथमेटिकल इकोनॉमिस्ट और माइक्रो इकोनॉमिस्ट हम लोगों को नहीं बोलता कि तुम कॉनकेव प्रोडक्शन फंक्शन और कॉनकेव यूटिलिटी फंक्शन से काम करो, तुम्हारा इक्विलिब्रियम एग्जिस्ट करेगा. यू डू नॉट नीड टू वरी अबाउट द एग्जिस्टेंस ऑफ द इक्विलिब्रियम, इट विल एग्जिस्ट. देन वी बिल्ड ऑन दैट. This is nothing but the if you relate, it is the standing on the shoulder effect that what we are talking about. समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
So कि किसी ने काम किया है उसके ऊपर हम लोग काम करके. Now our job is not to check the existence of the equilibrium. What is our job? Our job, whether if I take the concave utility function, the concave production function, and analyze the general equilibrium on the basis of that, data match कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा है. So you cannot say that this is important, this is not important. These are areas. Okay. हाँ बोलो. आई थिंक किसको पूछा था? हर्ष मखमाना को पूछा था मैं. हाँ बोलो, एग्जाम कैसे था? वो तो जाएगा, वो तो थोड़ा सा ट्रिक हम लोगों को देना ही पड़ेगा. तो any question regarding the core? Ultimately, did you able to solve or not? And यही तुम देखो, जो प्रोडक्शन फंक्शन हम लोगों ने लिया है. If you take a labor augmenting technological progress, that is also a concave production function. If you take both labor augmenting and capital augmenting technological progress, that is also a concave production function. So general equilibrium दोनों में ही exist करेगा. But when you go to analyze that, your mathematical knowledge of steady state is saying that how to adjust the variable. If it is only a labor augmenting technological progress, you adjust the variable by dividing everything by AT&T. If it is both labor augmenting and capital augmenting, you have to adjust on the basis of AT to the power 1 over 1 minus alpha multiplied by NT. This is completely mathematical, because otherwise you cannot say that k dot hat equals to 0. उसके बाद तुम डेटा में जा रहे हो. बट ये भी जानना जरूरी है, some basic technical part. अगर तुम्हें नहीं मालूम होता that what is steady state, what are the properties of steady state, तुम ये adjust भी नहीं कर पाते. ये adjustment factor वहां से आ रहा है. ठीक है. Actually the problem is this mathematical economics. But if you go to any good school, बैचलर्स लेवल में एक मैथमेटिकल इकोनॉमिक्स का कोर्स होता है और मास्टर्स लेवल में एक मैथमेटिकल इकोनॉमिक्स का कोर्स होता है. सो 2 मैथमेटिकल इकोनॉमिक्स का कोर्स कंपलसरी होता है फॉर एनी गुड इकोनॉमिक school in India or abroad. You go to Delhi school or ISI or go to any school abroad. You go to IIT Kanpur. मैथमेटिकल इकोनॉमिक्स का 2 कोर्स होना चाहिए जहाँ पे डेटा कुछ ज्यादा नहीं है बट यू विल लर्न टेक्निक्स. मॉडल कैसे फॉर्म किया जाता है, कैसे लैग्रेंजियन फॉर्म किया जाता है, कैसे कुंटाकर फॉर्म किया जाता है. ये जो कंपैरेटिव स्टैटिक एनालिसिस हम लोगों को हो रहा है, व्हाट इज द बेसिस ऑफ दैट. ये सब जनरल इक्विलिब्रियम का प्रॉपर्टी क्या है, एग्जिस्टेंस ऑफ जनरल इक्विलिब्रियम का कंडीशन क्या है, ये सब मैथमेटिकल इकोनॉमिक्स में पढ़ाया जाता है. माइक्रो में भी थोड़ा सा पढ़ाया जाता है, बट मैक्रो में ये जगह थोड़ा सा कम है. मैक्रो इज मच मोर अप्लाइड. We take those techniques of mathematicians, we take those techniques of microeconomists and we apply that over here, and our job is basically the matching the data.
सर खड़गपुर में तो काफी टाइम से इकोनॉमिक्स, तो यहाँ पे ठीक क्यों नहीं कर पाए अपन?
Problem है that there are a lot of what should I say, discrepancies the way people actually think. Some people think that mathematical economics is important, we have to have 2 courses. Some people thought that mathematical economics is not at all important, we do not have any courses. So for a lot of times we didn't have, but till लड़ाई करके at least एक what is called एक elective हम लोग रख पाए हैं. But problem is with the students also. But whenever it becomes elective, मैं देखा हूँ दूसरे डिपार्टमेंट से स्टूडेंट्स ज्यादा वो मैथमेटिकल इकोनॉमिक्स कोर्स लेते हैं, हमारे डिपार्टमेंट से बहुत ही कम लेते हैं. कंपलसरी होना चाहिए. हाँ
बोलो कौन सा इलेक्टिव?
मैथमेटिकल इकोनॉमिक्स.
ओके
वो मैं ही पढ़ाता हूँ. Only 2 or 3 people from our department, they generally take this math econ. I have seen other department people are taking more this math econ course. पहले तो नहीं था, and we realize actually the way we have learned economics, हम लोग मास्टर्स तक 4 मैथमेटिकल इकोनॉमिक्स का कोर्स किए थे. बैचलर्स में 2, मास्टर्स लेवल में 2. 4 मैथमेटिकल इकोनॉमिक्स कोर्स was compulsory for us. In Kanpur I think they have 2. Delhi school ISI में तो है ही है 2 मैथमेटिकल इकोनॉमिक्स कोर्स कंपलसरी. यहाँ पे तो नहीं था, बट देन बहुत लड़ाई झगड़े करने के बाद एक इलेक्टिव हम लोग ला पाए. Some people said okay, हम लोग इलेक्टिव लेके आओ, then देखते हैं what is the reaction of the student. But what I realize in students of our department not important, they do not feel that mathematical economics is important. So इसीलिए वो इलेक्टिव है कि अगर स्टूडेंट से डिमांड आता ज्यादा तो हो जाता. बट इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट. मैथमेटिकल इकोनॉमिक्स के अलावा इकोनॉमिक्स करना आज के दिनों में वेरी डिफिकल्ट, होता ही नहीं है. इकोनॉमिक्स इज बेसिकली एन अप्लाइड मैथमेटिक्स नाउअडेज. Most of the people are actually, after completing their honors in mathematics, they are now shifting to economics. So mathematics is so important nowadays. But यही है, खड़गपुर में ही प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है. There is a discrepancy among the faculty members. Some think that okay, it is important, we should bring it. Some things that okay, they're not important, we should not bring it. Then there is a midway. They said okay, since you are saying that why don't you bring as an elective at first of all, let's see what students are saying. And what we felt, there are only 2 or 3 students. Generally 15-16 students take math econ, 2-3 from our own student, economic student, rest of the students are from other department. That's the problem. But higher studies के लिए अगर जाना चाहो तो वहाँ पे problem हो जाएगा. We know that there is a problem. There is no department throughout the world जहाँ पे higher studies में तुम्हें math econ वो देखेगा whether you have a math econ course or not. If you go to corporate sector, go to job nothing is important. But if you want to pursue higher studies, they will actually check whether you have done mathematical economics or not, and how many courses in math econ you have done. Micro, macro, mathematical economics and econometrics, यही देखता है और कुछ देखता नहीं है. समझ में आया हर्ष मखवाना? तुम्हें मैथमेटिक्स अच्छा लगता है? Is it? ओ अच्छा, तो अगर तुम्हें मैं आज अभी ये बोलूं, एक क्वाड्रेटिक इक्वेशन दे दूं, ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0 with a not equals to 0, and if I tell you to prove the Sridhar Acharya formula right now, can you do it? Possible, right? Very good. Taylor series expansion. हो सकता है, बट ये सब चीजें थोड़ा थोड़ा लगता है. जैसे स्पेशली मैं लोगों को बोलता हूँ that if you want to pursue higher studies, ये जो कोर्स ऑफर किया जाता है मैथमेटिक्स डिपार्टमेंट से, लीनियर अलजेब्रा, राइट, एक कोर्स ऑफर होता है. If you want to do higher studies in economics, linear algebra का कोर्स ले लो. There is a lot of application of linear algebra, especially in econometrics. Higher econometric studies में linear algebra का बहुत application है. मैं लोगों को बोलता हूँ वो लो. But mathematical economics we are still lacking because students are not interested. Aman Khoiwal, are you
Yes,
here?
sir.
Bolo, how
Yes,
was
sir.
the exam?
Sir, it was okay, sir.
कहाँ पे problem? First question or second question?
सर दोनों में थोड़ा थोड़ा था.
दोनों में ही थोड़ा थोड़ा था. अच्छा, तो ultimately did you able to solve it?
हाँ सर.
अच्छा, then it's okay. Problem तो होगा ही. As long as you able to solve it, solve most of the part, that's fine. थोड़ा सा problem तो initially हो ही सकता है.
So वो रिसेशन वाला जो मतलब अभी एक ना किसी इकोनॉमिस्ट ने एक मेथड दिया है पता करने का, साम रूल करके, SAHM.
हो सकता है, मुझे पता नहीं. I am not aware of that.
काफी
Actually, I am not
effective है
interested. Actually, I am not interested in prediction of recession. So I do not work in that area.
Okay.
That's not my area of interest.
Okay.
So there are people whose area of interest is completely on that, how to predict recession. So even at a higher level in economics, this specialization and super specialization comes in, like other subjects. So if you are interested in prediction of recession, you pursue that. That's interesting. But even for that, basic economics का technique, analysis, intuition, interpretation, ये पूरा clear होना चाहिए. और mathematics का ठीक ठाक course लो, like what is called this linear algebra, सब course जो offer होता है लेते रहो अगर higher studies में जाना है. अच्छा, ये कोथिंती साई बालाजी.
Hello, sir.
How was the exam?
It's fine, sir. First question was a little bit lengthy.
But ultimately, you able to solve it.
Yeah, yes.
Very good. That is needed. And any question regarding the course, regarding our achievement, our agenda, and what we have achieved till now? Many issues, any questions, any concern?
No, sir.
Priyanksha,
Yes, sir.
exam,
Yes, sir. It was fine, I think.
able to solve it?
Yes, sir. Like it took much time to solve the first question,
Mm-hmm.
but I solved it.
Okay. And regarding this course, we have started with certain agenda, certain questions, and we have provided answers to that. Any concern, any question?
No, sir. It's fine.
Okay then. यथार्थ सोने जी, बोलो, एग्जाम ठीक ठाक था?
हाँ सर, फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन में थोड़ा ज़्यादा टाइम लग गया था, वो ट्रिकरी थोड़ी उसके अंदर सेट करने में टाइम लग गया था, बाकी फिर नॉर्मल हो गया था, वो करने के बाद फटाफट हो गया था।
जस्ट फंडामेंटल इक्वेशन तक ही ट्रिकी था, राइट?
हाँ।
Rest of the part is simple. Or any concern or question regarding the course? We have started with some
काफी
questions.
प्यारा कोर्स है। हाँ, काफी अच्छा कोर्स है ये वाला एज कम्पेयर टू बाकी सबसे।
अच्छा लगा है?
मतलब मैथ्स भी अच्छे से पढ़ा रहे हैं आप।
पर प्रॉब्लम तो यही है यथार्थ, कभी कभी मुझे फीडबैक मिलता है, पीपल से दिस इज मच वेरी मच मैथमेटिकल, बट मैथमेटिकल तो यू शुड हैव एंजॉयड।
सारे कोर्सेज में मैथ्स है नहीं तो फिर वो इक्वलाइज हो जाता है।
I don't know, because people says no, they blame it that is highly mathematical. I realize that IIT people should enjoy mathematics.
जैसे बाकी सारे सब्जेक्ट्स में भी होती है मैथ्स काफी। हाँ,
तो मैथ यहाँ पे तो एक चीज तुम लोग रियलाइज करो, सबको मैं बोल रहा हूँ, इन इकोनॉमिक्स मैथमेटिक्स इज ऑल्सो अ टूल। अल्टीमेटली मैथमेटिक्स जो तुम्हें जो सोल्यूशन मिल रहा है, तुम्हें देखना पड़ेगा डेटा मैच कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा है। इफ इट इज मैचिंग द डेटा, देन यू हैव टू गो फॉर द इंटरप्रिटेशन, दैट हाउ डू आई इंटरप्रेट दैट मैथमेटिकल रिजल्ट। यही तुम्हारा काम है एज एन इकोनॉमिस्ट। मैथमेटिक्स तो सभी यूज करते हैं, इवन द फिजिसिस्ट यूज द मैथमेटिक्स, मैथमेटिशियन यूज्ड इट, मैथमेटिक्स बायोलॉजिकल साइंस में भी यूज्ड होता है, बट इंटरप्रिटेशन चेंज होता है। As an economist, the interpretation that we'll give it, we should match the data. The interpretation should be, coming from the economic analysis, economic theory. ये actually the more time you spend with the subject, धीरे धीरे ये आता है. It takes time. It takes a lot of time, at least 5 to 6 years initially, to the initial threshold को पार करने में लगता है. Unless and until you complete your masters, तुम्हें initially तुम्हें अच्छा नहीं लगेगा ये subject, but gradually it comes. What is saying? Even we came first time after completing our science, physics, chemistry, mathematics, and we have doubt of what we are doing. There's a budget constraint, there is an indifference curve, there's a tangency. Where it is coming from, we do not see in the real life. But over the time, we spend time over there, we realize these are the background. Ultimately, the result they are giving this demand curve, maximizing utility subject to budget, we are getting a demand curve, and that demand curve can be calculated from the data. So it can be derived from a theory by maximizing utility subject to budget, demand is achieved, and the demand curve can be achieved from the data, price and quantity data, and now we can match it. That initial background, that utility is unobservable, बट वो मैक्सिमाइज करके जो मिल रहा है दैट इज ऑब्जर्वेबल। ये धीरे धीरे ये रियलाइजेशन आता है ग्रेजुअली। ओके यथार्थ?
यस सर।
हाँ, ये थोड़ा सा टाइम देना पड़ता है। देयर इज as I said, there's a fixed cost for any kind of innovation or anything new. There is a fixed cost involved, and once you achieve that fixed cost, additional marginal costs are lower. यही हम लोगों का वो जो पढ़ा रहा था इनोवेशन, यही प्रिंसिपल था, राइट जसार्थ? देयर इज अ ह्यूज फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट फॉर इनिशियल इनोवेशन।
यस सर।
यहाँ पे भी नया सब्जेक्ट नए आए हो, देयर इज अ ह्यूज फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट। वो फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट देना पड़ता है, वो पेशेंस रखना पड़ता है।
तो सर ये मैथमेटिकल इकोनॉमिक्स को अपन मतलब उससे मतलब जो हमारे पास ही पिछले सेमेस्टर हमारे पास बायो जैसे सब्जेक्ट्स थे, उसकी जगह उसी को ही लगा देते हैं।
सीक्वल मतलब
बायो वाले जो सब्जेक्ट्स थे, मतलब एक तो एनवायरमेंटल साइंस पे था और एक बायो के ऊपर था। तो उसकी जगह ये वाले ही लगा देते, मैथमेटिकल इकोनॉमिक्स वाले।
अरे वो तो मैं बोला ना, हम लोग कुछ देयर आर 2 or 3 people they are actually in the faculty members, they are saying that it should come as a compulsory, but there are 5 or 6 faculty members they are saying it is not at all important. Then एक हम लोगों को compromise हुआ है for last 3-4 years that we are offering one course as elective math econ, but problem तो वही है, students हमारा department से तो लेते नहीं है ज़्यादा. How do we convince those other faculty members that students are also interested? Other department का students interest दिखा रहा है. If it is coming naturally, automatically, just like from other economic school, के mathematical economics compulsory automatically आ रहा है, तो there is nothing, fine. But यहाँ पे तो लड़ाई करना पड़ रहा है. But how do we fight if there is nothing from the student side? Right?
Right, sir.
Though without 2 mathematical economics course, तुम लोग को higher studies में problem होगा. We know that. Because they actually check that what are the subjects you have taken, how many math econ subjects you have taken. Because ultimately वहाँ पे वही होता है that whether you are mathematically strong or not. If you are mathematically strong, you can pick economics. But if your mathematics is poor, तुम economics pick नहीं कर पाओगे. Because as I said, economics nowadays is completely applied mathematics. Kaustuv? Are you here, Kaustuv? I think he is not here. Anyway, then, 25th, our next lecture. As I said, those 2 lectures, I think you guys will enjoy a lot because these are the very new topic of economics of growth and development at the subnational level and the sub-district level where the GDP data is not available. How do I analyze development? And a lot of people are working on that. They say Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. वहाँ पे they have prepared road. Whether those road is beneficial to those village or not. How do you measure that? Because the village level GDP is not available. They're actually using the village level night light data. Whether the road has improved economic activity. And economic activity का proxy वो लोग night light के लिए ले रहे हैं. So this is the new area of economics of growth at the micro level. Night light से वो लोग economic of growth, local economy का development measure कर रहे हैं. And we will learn data कैसे दिखता है, how to process that data from the satellite. It is basically an overlap between geology, geography, and economics together. Then we will learn that, and then we will see that इस सब process करने के बाद जो night light मुझे मिल रहा है, is it really representing an economic development or not? ये सब 25th और 26th के lecture में होगा. And बाकी जो lecture है, that is 1st of November, 2nd of November, 8th of November and 9th of November, ये 4 जो lecture हमारे पास है, वहाँ पे we will actually discuss this last topic, that from where this population growth is coming from, why the fertility is basically falling down in the rich countries, and what are the implication of that in the growth model. Then either on 15th or 16th, we are going to have our final exam. And that final exam will be in the Moodle, and that will be multiple choice, 20 marks question. That's basically the plan. Okay. Then I'm leaving the meeting over here today, ending the meeting over here today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So the last exam will be cumulative, like the whole syllabus?
Yeah. Yes. Cumulative.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.